Meet Alex. Just like you, he had dreams, big dreams. But life had a way of stacking up. Every day felt like a struggle. It wasn't that he lacked ambition. He had it in spades. It was that he didn't know where to start. The weight of starting kept him stuck in a cycle of frustration, and every time he tried to make a change, the obstacles felt insurmountable. I need a huge transformation, he often thought. I need to do something big, something radical to break through. But then one day, Alex came across something that changed his entire perspective. It was an old book on his shelf, one that had been gathering dust. It was titled The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. As he flipped through the pages, one sentence stood out. Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals radical difference. The 1% rule, that's when it clicked for him. Tiny changes made consistently can lead to massive results. And just like that, Alex realized that he didn't need to make a giant leap to change his life. He just needed to make a tiny shift every day in the right direction. He decided to test it. Alex started small, no grand gestures, no immediate overhauls. He chose the smallest change. He would wake up just 15 minutes earlier every day. He set his alarm, not to jump out of bed and run a marathon, but to have 15 minutes of quiet, to plan his day, to breathe before the chaos. It didn't seem like much. In fact, it seemed almost insignificant. But every single morning, Alex felt a little more in control, a little more focused. The first small win of the day started before the sun even rose, and something shifted. After a week, Alex noticed something surprising. He was feeling more productive, more centered. That 15 minutes gave him space to gather his thoughts, prioritize, and build momentum. He was ready for the next step. He set another goal, to read 10 pages of a self-improvement book every day. Just 10 pages. It didn't seem like much. After all, 10 pages wouldn't turn him into an expert overnight. But over the course of a year, that would add up to over 3,600 pages. Alex couldn't help but smile at the thought. Tiny steps, compounded over time, were now stacking up into something meaningful. But change, even small change, isn't always easy. There were days when Alex overslept, missed his reading, or skipped his morning routine. The old Alex would have seen these small failures as proof that he wasn't cut out for this. But not anymore. He reminded himself of the 1% rule. One mistake, one day off, wouldn't ruin his progress. It was the cumulative effort, the commitment to getting back on track that would make the difference. Alex understood now that growth wasn't about perfection. It was about showing up again and again. A month passed. Alex had already begun to notice the change. The small improvements, though subtle, were now adding up. He wasn't just reading more. He was understanding more. He wasn't just waking up earlier. He was waking up with purpose. His workday became more efficient, and he started to think more creatively. The idea that small steps could lead to massive growth was no longer a theory. It was real. The compounding effect of those tiny daily changes began to take shape. 3 months later, Alex's life was drastically different from when he started. He had read dozens of books. His morning routine was solid. He had more energy, more clarity, and more focus than ever. One evening, while reviewing his progress, Alex realized something extraordinary. The 1% rule had created a ripple effect. His work had improved. His relationships were stronger. His confidence had grown. The changes, though small at first, had built upon each other. They had compounded into something massive. He wasn't the same person anymore, and it hadn't taken a dramatic transformation, just tiny, consistent changes every day. You don't need to make a massive change to see results. You don't need to radically overhaul your life. Sometimes the smallest adjustments made consistently will have a profound impact. The 1% rule is not about perfection. It's about making tiny improvements every single day, with the understanding that over time, these small changes will lead to massive, life-changing results. So, what tiny change can you make today? What small step can you take toward the person you want to become? Remember, the road to greatness is paved with small, consistent steps. Tiny changes, massive results. Your future self is counting on the steps you take today. Make them count. The 1% rule is your key to unlocking the extraordinary in the ordinary. Start now. Start small. And watch what happens.